Hi everyone, welcome to your live teacher. Today I have our special guest. Can you present yourself to all my viewers?
Okay, so I'm Ashley Edelman and my Instagram account is consciously_Ash.
And well, we are now very good friends. We was talking now before we start the podcast, and he's a person that I really admire because you have too much courage to talk about like your fast life and everything. I saw your Instagram, how you are not ashamed to talk everything that happened in your life, and you can like change life from other people. And I want that you tell us more about your story, like how you start, how you become the person that you're now. I also will share my story a lot, but can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
If I was in the army from a very young age, within 5 years, a lot of my journey started back then. There were little things that I was watching that were happening. Like I think it was, What the Bleep Do We Know was a movie, which was one of those first things that ever started me on manifestation. But then I was still going through that party life of the army. I found me being in the military was more college than anything else. I spent more time drinking and partying and anything else than what I felt like I was anyway. From that, I then moved across to the mines and worked for the mines in Australia. And that made a lot of money. But again, I was coming back every week and I was drinking on time and still living a very unconscious life. From there, I then moved to the UK. Now, what I did, I went traveling and I spent all my money. I then came home and my parents said, look, if you get a job back in the UK, we will pay for your flights. But you need a job because you're not wasting this opportunity at 23 years old.
Yeah.
So I found a job, but as a stripper.
Yes.
I told my parents that I was doing security. So they paid for my flight to go back over. And I went and lived in Cornwall, where I was meant to be stripping. Now, what I didn't realize was the guy that was asking me to work for him, that I was working for him, he wanted me to go door knocking. And door knocking was basically collecting drug money. Wow. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. So he promised me the world with stripping, but even living there, I was in Cornwall for about 3 months, and I made maybe £300-400 in 3 months.
So if I had about 3 months, it's nothing.
Nope, nothing.
Wow.
And then at the same time, we then got a job being defense contractors for the military. So from that, I was able to earn a bit of money. I got to travel into Europe and do things and work with like special forces. And that was fun, but it still wasn't what I wanted to do. I did a photo shoot, and that photo shoot, it was a scam actually, but they gave me some very average photos, which allowed me to step into the next phase of my life.
Yeah.
And that was performing with Forbidden Nights in the UK.
Yes.
Now, what I did at that point in time, I was living on a friend's couch, and I got the job with Forbidden. Well, sorry, before I got the job with Forbidden, they brought me in so they could meet me. And I loved the show. The show was incredible. They had 300 women there. It was a full stage, full rig, 2-hour show, choreographed routines, amazing. And after the show ended, they said, ladies, this is Ozzy. It's his birthday. Who thinks he should strip? So, of course, I got in there, started doing a strip, and then led all the girls upstairs. From there, a few days later, the boss gave me a phone call and said, I'm sorry, but we can't afford to have you. And I was like, dude, I will work for free. I don't care. I just want to be a part of what you're doing. I love what you're doing. So there was energy about it where I loved. But this is, again, looking back at these things now, I was literally following my intuition. My intuition was like, work for free. Because what happened is they then gave me £50 a show. And we only had 4 shows a week at that point, 4 shows a month at that point in time. So every weekend. From there, for the next 2 months, I worked so hard. Set the stage, set chairs, showed the girls around. I used to turn up with so much enthusiasm. And then one day I picked up one of the fire staffs, so fire prop, because I'm a fire performer.
Yeah.
And I started playing with it. And they didn't realize that I could do that. Within a few weeks, they then put me in rehearsals. And they started teaching me to dance. And they put me into the show. And that was prepping for Brit Got Talent. So in 2015, you had a Brit Got Talent audition, which went viral. I mean, it's like 89 million views. But that basically could propel our show to doing almost 3 or 4 shows a week. So we went from 4 shows,
1 show a week.
Yeah, 1 show a week to basically doing 160 shows plus a year. And it was incredible. But from that, COVID happened. Obviously, I stopped. I was married, and which was an incredible lesson. I wouldn't change it for the world. But it came with its own struggles. Also, at this point in time, I started doing OnlyFans. So I was doing OnlyFans from 2017, whilst also doing muscle worship and all these other things, which is a whole other story its own. But with those, that also doing OnlyFans and doing muscle worship allowed me to understand people, because I learned a lot of the people that I was working with privately were CEOs, bosses, like people that you'd see on the street that look completely normal, have a fetish.
Yes.
And I was getting paid to facilitate that fetish. But also, I'd end up having a conversation with her about personal growth, spirituality, plant medicine, normal conversations after the session had finished. Now, I had my own boundaries. I had to make sure I was having my own boundaries of what I was comfortable with happening and not. But at the end of the day, I was making good money.
Yes, of course, I know.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I was also having OnlyFans before. And, well, my story is different. You know, I was, as I told always in my podcast, I never had a dad. I never had my parents to, not even my mom and my dad. My mom always was in the limbo. And my dad, he was never with me. So I was like a alone child. I was always alone. So I was beautiful, you know, like I was, I had a good body, everything. So always in my city, I come from a small village. They always told me, oh, let's take you pictures, da, da, da. I started to take pictures in lingerie. And after that, my Instagram started to grow. I started to post pictures like in bikini, you know, like I started to go viral. So after they called me from Playboy Mexico, you know, they told me, oh, we want that you model for Playboy Mexico. But I was like, no, I don't want to be naked. Like I'm shy, da, 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 so I can do it. I started to work with them. And also I was like, you know, after I was a girl that I admire a lot. I told you, Jocelyn Cano, that she rests in peace now. I was always seeing her like my idol when I was a kid. I don't know that she was doing OnlyFans. I didn't know. I was looking at her. I was like, wow, she's very pretty. I like her a lot. She's Mexican. She's a Mexican American. She makes a lot of money. I was watching her like she was like always in good cars, like very beautiful, nice body. I was like, no, I really look up at this girl. So the time passed, and the brother of Jocelyn texted, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, Ana, we want that you model for a mezcal here in Cancun. I was like, oh, why not? You know, I was having a lot of opera. I didn't do OnlyFans and stuff different. And after I just traveled there, and I met Sky, that is the ex-husband of Jocelyn Cano. And I told him, he promised me the same as you, the world stars, everything. I'm gonna make you the next star, the next bigger star in OnlyFans. I was like, what's OnlyFans? No worry, it's gonna be good. They start to take me pictures after I start to make money, and I start to see a lot of money coming. So I was like, wow, what's this? More like $100,000 more, $200,000. I was shocked. For me, it was a lot of money. I come from a small village. So he manipulated in a way. I was seeing him as my dad, you know, like as my how I say, that figure, you know. So I got brainwashed in this time. So that's what I understand perfectly how it was like. And of course, I was a kid. I had my family. I wanted to make money. I was like seeing the star, my idol, and the person that made her was going to make the same for me. But at the end of the day, what I was missing my soul, like a lot. Okay, I was making a lot of money, but I was really like not happy. Every day I was waking up and I was like, what I'm doing? Well, what's next? So I really understand you, and that's why I want to ask you, like, how you deal when you start OnlyFans, like when you stop to make that money, like.
I look at that point in time, because I stopped because the other sides are away from OnlyFans. When I was working within Findom, when I was working within other things like stomping and crushing, all these things, they're all different fetishes that people don't realize.
Yes.
And even within that community, there are still people that don't realize that's a part of their community. What I found as I was working with, so there was a dom-sub relationship that was happening. So I was a dominant, there was a sub, and basically he was something called a debt slave. What would happen is he'd accrue a debt, and he didn't have to pay me money at the end of the month. What had happened was I was going through a very dark phase in getting my visa to go back to the UK. And there were a few things that had happened. My ex-wife, there was a moment that I really needed my ex-wife. And basically her response when I really needed her on the phone was, your shit isn't as bad as my shit. Stop complaining. That was a moment that I knew I could never open up to her again. That was even before I got married. So, but I still got married. Anyway, at that same point in time, this slave had then seen my energy and seen where I was and had flipped it on me and had basically started controlling and dominating me. Now, I caught it and I was like, I'm out, I'm done. So I pulled the plug on everything. Stopped OnlyFans, stopped anything like that. Got away from it.
So basically what makes you change also was the character of your ex-wife.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was enjoying stripping. I was loving all that sort of stuff. It came, we still worked at sex parties. We still performed at adult events, all those sorts of things. But to stop the OnlyFans and that side of thing, I was happy with it. Because, like you said, I felt like I was selling my soul. Because it was, you were trying to go further for more money. And then next you know, it's like someone's asking you to do something. You're saying no. They're offering you more money. Then you're going, oh, okay. And it's like you then become a slave to those people. And you then start pushing your own boundaries just for money. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Because I was breaking my own values. So I felt good to step away from it. But then as I went through my marriage, I went through the relationship, that was my next big lesson. That broke me into the point where, look, it takes two people to
break up.
Exactly. But I was also told things about who I was throughout the relationship, which really made me question my own self-worth, my own value. And it took me a very long time to get through that, to learn who I was. That's where I had to then start going through my own self-healing. I didn't have a coach in that time. I had looked at things like Mind Valley. I was listening to podcasts. I was listening to audiobooks. I was doing these things to do my own healing. But I was then having to go through the process of, like, I'd have days where I'd go, okay, let's go to work. I'd get up, I'd get ready. I'd go to leave the house. I'd fall in my bed and I'd stay there for 3 minutes. But I then had to learn to be kind to myself in those moments because I would then punish. Unlike you, I used to be very go. I used to be very short. I need this to happen now. I used to be very much like that. And if I wasn't proactive, I wasn't doing anything, I'm like, well, I've been lazy. I'm not cheating. I used to punish myself. So there were days where I have to literally lie in bed and be okay with playing PlayStation, sleeping, those things. I then had to learn breathwork. So I started learning these things through my journey. And then when I left, once I finally started coming good, my friend, one of my close friends, he goes, oh, you're back on OnlyFans. Just see how much money's in there. So I went back in, opened my account, and there was money in there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got back into OnlyFans and I started reselling content. And I was like, amazing, I have to start making this money again. And all I have to do is just play with myself on camera.
Yes.
And I was like, I get paid to do this, sweet. So I started doing it again. And I started making more money. And this was only in mid-2022.
Stop.
No, that I started again.
Oh, you started that again?
I had to start again. I felt I had to start. And then that continued on until I left the UK. I went back to Australia, mid-2023. Mid-2023, I moved back to Australia. And I started stripping again in Australia. But the stripping was very different. So with Forbidden Nights, it's a theatre show, choreographed routines in theatres, and you're getting 200 to 1,200 people in the crowd.
Ah, better.
Amazing. Australia, you're standing on stage, you have a 15-minute routine, and you've got to get as many people on stage as possible. And you got a bigger cheer if you got naked at the end of it. So I was then pushing my boundaries again. I was the only one bringing guys on stage because it was a crowd pleaser. It would go viral on social media because I had to do my own promotion. So I'd bring guys on stage because at the end of the day, look, I want everyone to feel included anyway, because it didn't bother me. But what I didn't realize was the energy I was taking in. Because I was then falling back into taking drugs, drinking, sleeping around. Because people are coming to those shows, they're drinking, they're going through a divorce, breakup, they're upset, they're sad, they're getting married, whatever it is. These people are coming in, and then I'm bringing them into my intimate zone, doing a routine. And for most of the routine, so my old social media account was all videos of me literally getting women's crutches right here and then grinding them on stage and basically having sex on stage. But it was going viral. So I was like, cool, this is amazing. But what was happening was I was taking that energy in and I didn't realize how it was affecting me. Because again, I was back doing drugs. I was back drinking. I was back sleeping around with people for the show. And I was going in this havoc. And what had happened was, it was end of 2023. I was sitting at home. I'd had a falling out with my family. My best friend was meant to be living with me, but he wasn't. I was sitting in a 2-bedroom apartment alone, and I didn't really know anyone back in Brisbane anymore. So I was like, what's going on in my life? I did a breathwork session, and that was a download which came through saying, you need to become a breathwork facilitator. So I was like, okay, sweet. So I reached out to 2 people. One of them I'm working with here in Dubai. Other one said, move over to Western Australia, because this is what we're building. So I was like, okay, cool. In that meantime, I'd switched everything. I'd stopped drinking. I'd stopped doing drugs. I'd stopped sleeping around. My dog came into my life. Like, rest in peace, that beautiful soul. But he came into my life when I didn't know I needed him. And he saved my life. I was then, again, back training, exercising, listening to podcasts, reading listening to audiobooks, doing everything to start putting myself on this path for a better version of myself. I then managed to go to Western Australia, and this is where everything started unfolding, where I got the human design as well. Don't have to know human design.
Yeah, no.
No, so human design is like, it's a blueprint of who you are. It's a mixture of the I Ching, Kabbalah, Tarot, astrology, and something else. It is wildly accurate. So from that, I found out that the way I make decisions is my stomach, is my gut. So I started trusting that. And then as I got to Western Australia, I was promised, you don't need a social media team. Because I'd come off social media at this point in time. You don't need a social media team. This is what we're building. We're building retreats where you can be a breathwork facilitator. You don't need to be the face of it, all these sorts of things. Amazing. And you can live here rent-free. Because built myself up, lost all my money. I've done this about 3 or 4 times. And I was going through this process again. So he was like, we look after you. I got there and things started not matching up to what was happening.
Yeah.
What I found out was I was basically reliving a cycle of my ex-wife.
Yes.
But it was coming through as a friend. But the blessing of all of this was it would put me in front of people who were there to help me. It really helped me dive deeper into my own spiritual journey. From that, we went to Thailand looking for retreat spaces. And that's where I then found out about the monastery, Raduttan. And I was like, cool, this is the next stage. So I then went and lived at a monastery for a month. And now I could have stayed longer, but I chose not to. Because Theravada Buddhism is service to self. And I'm service to others. Their rules haven't changed in 2,500 years. Like what they teach as a way of life is beautiful. And I still use a lot of their teachings. But I don't resonate with a lot of things. Like, again, I want to be married. I want to have kids.
You don't want to be married?
No, I do. I want to be married and I want to have kids. They can't. They can't sing. They can't dance. They can't watch movies. They can't listen to music. There are so many rules they have against. And I'm like, that's not for me. Yeah. Like, I'm a big kid. I like singing and dancing and just make it fool myself. That's what I do. So I couldn't live like that. But also when I was there I had an awakening.
Yeah.
So it was within it was day 8.
Yeah.
I had this, they say when you reach the first level of enlightenment,
yes.
Okay, you see a Buddha.
Yeah.
So while I was sitting there, and about 2 minutes into it, I saw the Buddha on my face. And I was like, oh, that's not it. That didn't just happen.
And you saw it?
That's exactly what I saw. And I was like, but I kept an eye. I'm like, that didn't just happen. But in that meditation, I can pull the clouds apart in my mind's eye. And I could see a starry sky, bright as night. As soon as I attached to it, the clouds would close. But I was able to keep doing this as I was playing with it. Later that night, I then had, it was an evening meditation. And it basically felt like someone was standing there with a torch right in front of my face from right there. And again, both of these times, I had the feeling of love, joy, gratitude. I felt the energy of the universe. I felt everything just rise up in me. I had tears in my eyes. And on the other side of this white light, I could feel Buddha, but I couldn't get to it. I was trying to push myself through, but I couldn't get to it. And then what had happened is it pulled me away from it. And because I was trying to get attached to that experience, this is where I started what they teach in Buddhism is attachment is suffering. So I was having to learn non-attachment.
Not attachment to nothing.
Attachment to nothing. Because this is the thing. The second you attach to it, it's suffering. Life is suffering. because again, we like to think everything is permanent, but because we think everything is permanent, as soon as it's taken away from us, we're like, "What? That sucks," because we're attached to it. So I had to learn this through the meditation. I then had a few days later, I have aphasia, so I can't visualize. But I had this image, again, these feelings shot straight at me. I had these clear images, you and me sitting here, a baby here, and a black-haired woman here. A few days later, I had an image again of me feeding a baby and a dark-haired woman walking around the corner. And it was a few days later, right before I left the monastery, which I had this download which said, you need to move to Dubai. And I was like, what do I do with that?
So you have a vision for it.
Yeah. But what it was I was like, Dubai is a safe city. Yeah. Everyone is coming here. It's already a smart city. Yeah. There is so much energy here that is heavy.
Yes, that's what I say. And let me sorry for it. I think Dubai is a very nice place for opportunities, but the souls here are dead.
Exactly.
All the people that I hang out, not all the people that I hang out in the past, they are just materialistic. For me to detach from the materialistic world was very hard because I was a very materialistic person. I was just a full-on competition all day. I was like, oh, this version have this back. I want this back. I want this. I want that. I want to be the best. But I was losing myself trying to be like this kind of a woman. Now I reach a point that I even tell her, of course I have bats and it is, I use them, but I don't care about them anymore. Like I don't need them. Before I needed to buy a bag all the time. I needed to buy a bag, you buy it myself. And that's what Dubai is now at the moment. But that's why I was also with my manager that is here, that she works with me. We want to bring spirituality to Dubai. So that's maybe you are also come here and I'm here. We are maybe the hope that people can reconnect themselves with the spirituality. Or what do you think?
That's exactly what I think is happening. I think, look, there's a shift happening in the world at the moment. Like this can go a lot deeper with looking at things like the law of one and kind of the shift that's happened already energetically. You see the world is waking up. You see corruption is coming to light. They are not even quiet about the things they're doing in front of us right now. We're literally pawns in a game where we've been blinded for so long to just follow their rules that now everyone's going, well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So everyone is slowly waking up. When the awakening is slowly happening, it's people like us that are here, that are grounded, that are spiritual, that understand who they are, that are here to help the shift happen. There are more people that are starting to realize that they're burning out and they don't realize why, that they need to take time to themselves. There are people, the spiritual community here is like, people don't see this side of Dubai. People see social media.
Luxury cars, etc.
But there is a very deeper spiritual side in Dubai, which people don't see. Like what we started doing now, I create breathwork. Yeah. So we do 5 of the palm. We do horoscope, yeah. And we've got another 2 or 3 that we're doing, and they're better in the works, which are going to be happening every week. With these breathworks, what I do is they're based around remembering who you are, releasing what no longer serves you, balancing the masculine and feminine energy, a chakra realigner. So with these breathworks, the more we get people coming to these, the more people are open to the experience, the more we can plant the seed for their own awakening.
Exactly.
Now, spirituality isn't a religion.
No.
Spirituality.
Connecting with yourself.
Exactly. People think it's how many beads am I wearing? It's how many feathers are in my hat. It's how awake am I? It's like, no, it's not that. It's like, how aware of you are trees? How aware of you are the things within yourself that make you feel uncomfortable? How much can you sit with yourself? How much do you love yourself?
Exactly.
That's spirituality. So the more we allow this to happen, the more we openly talk about this. Because Dubai is opening up. Dubai is opening up and becoming like the wellness festivals are getting bigger. Coffee raves are getting bigger. The younger generation, there's less alcohol or less of them drinking. They're more going into wellness. But the world is waking up so. And again, we are at the very start of this awakening. So we are essentially like the pioneers. So it's up to us to be able to lead with integrity and honesty and authenticity, to be the light for those people that don't know, that can't speak up.
They cannot speak up because they are very shy to say it. Because most of the people I told you, the girls I know, they are really like, I was the same. I told you I was like obsessed with material. Like it's still sometimes I've not healed like 100%, and I'm gonna be open with myself. Like some nights I still have like when someone did something bad to me in the past, other person come and trying to remind me. Like sometimes I get mad again. I lose myself, but I am trying my best to become a fair version of myself, and that's why I want also to share to all these people, because at the end of the day, I see many rich people here. Because Kid is a very wealthy person. Most of the rich people is here, and all these people that I know, they are very empty inside. They are depressed. They are not like happy. Like they even tell me, come. They want me that I give them, bring them joy, because I have a very nice aura, I think. So, and they really need this. They really need people that have nice energy, nice aura. And I think that that's my purpose. As I do, you said before, you was dreaming that you come to Dubai, that you have the baby. I also always dream since I'm kid in like places like speaking. Since I'm kid, I always was dreaming. Even when I tried to quit OnlyFans. 5 years ago, and I was having dreams about that. I was like speaking a lot, like how I quit OnlyFans. I was dreaming, and I called the girl from the church. I told her, I have these dreams. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I should quit. And I was seeing a lot of things about God. She was like, yeah, wait, take your time. But I didn't do it. But I was dreaming. And now I just like, after just happened. So I retired 3 years ago. So I'm really happy for it. But like, I have this vision as you. Like, I know my purpose in life. I know that my purpose is to share my story as you do with people, that you can have a second chance. That like what you did in the past doesn't define you. That you can become a better person of yourself. Because as you say, nothing is forever. Even we are changing every day. Like, I'm not the same person I was yesterday, you know? And that's what people they doesn't believe on it. They are shy to try. They are like, I see my friends, they are like, okay, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, like I have a man and that is helping me, but what I'm gonna do after? Like, they don't have purpose in life. They don't know what to do. And if you don't have a purpose in life, you have your purpose. You want to help people. I want to help people. We have something to do. But some people, they don't know. So what is bring to you? Like, you're not happy. Because at the end of the day, when you have motivation and you have other people to become better and you have a purpose, that's what makes you like full of yourself. You're like happy, you know, with you. And not material, not money, nothing of this is going to make you happy as what you, as helping other people and as loving yourself. So that's what I think that we need to make in Dubai. We need to create a community. We need to help other people. That's why we are together. Please, you see, like you met. And I think that, yeah, like that's what I want to do. Like, what do you think about it?
I'm fully behind it. Also, what you're doing, how you've shifted, it takes courage to do what you've done. But also, you're very self-aware of the fact that you're learning and you're aware of the triggers that still come up.
Yes.
But you're also working through that. So that takes a lot of courage. So, like, proud of you for doing that. Because not a lot of people.
What work, as I told you, like, for me, even, I don't know, for yourself, like, especially when I started to have other, like, rebranding, other person, because I'm other person. I'm not the Anna I was 3 years ago at all. Not even mentally, physically, nothing, other person completely. And people still remember the old person, right? But as I say, we change every day. You're not the same person as you was yesterday. Also these people. So I see many stories of, like, for example, I always say this guy, the guy from Ironman, the actor. He was in jail. He was making a lot of things. And now he's one of the biggest actors in the world. So, and people admire him. Other example also, like Melania Trump, you know, she was in Playboy. She was in magazines, everything. She's now the first lady of America. So this doesn't define you, you know, like you can become the best version of yourself if you want to be. So that's why I want to say to everybody, if you want to change, you know, what you was before, like you can be whatever, you have a second chance. And you also, you know yourself. How you deal, like, when people, when you start to post your content that you was stripper and now you're like,
I mean, look, so the first video that I posted about it, that went mega viral, I was triggered. Like, the thing is, like, at the end of the day, so one thing I think people need to know is when you're on your spiritual journey, you don't just hit a point and you go, cool, I'm never triggered again. That's not the case. You will still always, like a student in life will always be learning and understanding who they are. So you will always have moments where you get triggered, but it's how you deal with that. It's how self-aware are you of those moments and how you move through those. And how much, instead of being triggered for a day or 2 days, you have 5 minutes where you go, okay, and move through it. So it triggered me because I was like, hold on, I need to be doing something amazing here. Why is this happening? But then I took a step back and I was like, this is happening because I need to understand why I'm being triggered. I then started to look at it, and then I was reading through the comments. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the comments were whack. Yeah. But they were also uneducated. And they came from a place of that people's own wounding and their understanding view of the world. Like, I can't even go in, I can't remember some of the comments, but what I saw was it was half hate, half positive. People supportive of it, people against it. But again, the more people, the more arguments that it creates in the algorithm, the more I put my post in front of the people that needed to see it. So much so, this video got over 18 million views. And my profile had grown over 100,000 in 4 months.
A lot. It's a lot.
It's insane. It's fine. And that's the thing. That shows you that no matter what, no matter the small amount of hate that comes on that sort of thing, 100,000 people have turned around and go, no, I really like what you're doing. And it's continuing to grow. So at the end of the day, people's opinions of you is coming from their view of the world. It's coming from their experience of their life. They haven't lived your life. They don't know what you've been through. So they're going to make those judgments. Cool, that's them. Let them do that. At the end of the day, their opinion means absolutely nothing of what you're doing, because say those 5 or 10 people that have a negative opinion about you, you've got 20 or 30 that you've changed your life. Like, amazing. Cool. Keep arguing. Keep bickering. Because at the end of the day, your bickering is doing nothing for me. It's not affecting me. I'm focused on helping these people. And that's the thing. We need polarity in life. We need to understand. We need to go through the dark to understand the light and appreciate the light. We need haters to be able to help us get in front of the people that are going to appreciate what we need. And the thing is, when you look at hate, anger, jealousy, envy, all these things, they are low vibration energies.
Yes, low vibration.
Very low vibration. And if we're stuck in that, we're not going to grow. We're up here. We're in excitement, joy, enlightenment, all these things. We're up here. So the people that are down here with those vibrations, they can stay there. They can stay in their loop of going around, not happy with their job, not happy with where their life is, not happy with the people, and they're not happy in their relationships. Cool. You do you. When you want to awaken, when you want to get to a point where you go, no, I actually want to live better. I want to live at high vibration. I want things to go my way. Then they will start paying attention to you. And then it's like, oh my God, I love what you're sharing. I love this. So that's when they start coming to you. But at the end of the day, those people at low vibration, they just physically aren't ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cool. You do you. I'm here helping the people that are ready to hear my story and my message.
So what I was telling you is also that most of the people that have a hard life and go to hard life patterns is people that suffer a lot in their childhood. Like yesterday I was in the gym and I saw my friend and he come to me. He's like, oh, I really love your videos now. You're sharing a lot of things. It's like sometimes we don't say what really when we are kids. And that's why we go in pathways, because we don't have our orientation from no one. We are growing up alone. So we don't know what to do. And she's like, thank you for this message, because I feel that now that my mistakes, I know my mistakes, I help them, and now I'm ready to become the best version of myself. So it was really nice to listen this about someone, you know. And as I don't know how was your childhood now.
Yeah. Or is it? I said my childhood compared to many was good. I noticed later on that I took a lot of patterns from my parents in my relationship. That was, again, the learning that I needed. I think one thing, look, I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had the upbringing that a lot of people have. But there's a beautiful phrase and a beautiful quote, catch, whatever it is. Basically, you have these two boys. These two boys were brought up with an alcoholic father. These guys are twins, same age. Father's an alcoholic. Father dies. As one grows up to be an alcoholic, one grows up to be amazingly wealthy and successful. When both of these boys are asked, how did they become the person they are, they both get the same answer. Yeah. I'm this way because of my father. Your experiences that you have growing up are there to teach you. Now, again, this may trigger a lot of people, but I'm a very big believer that we choose our life, we choose our parents, we choose our friends, we choose the experiences we have before we come to this life. Because by choosing these are the lessons that our soul needs to learn to elevate and to grow.
Yes, true.
And this happens through all of our lifetimes. We always choose, we always learn, we finish this life, we've elevated. And same thing for the next life. But a lot of people refuse to have, cool, we don't have any memory of this happening because there's a veil. We don't. So it's very easy to not have accountability to the things that we need to go through. Now, it doesn't condone the experiences that have happened. Like, again, some of the things that happen to people are horrible. And I really feel, I wish they would never happen to people, but the reality is they did. You can either remain a victim to your trauma or a victim to your things, or you can go, actually, I'm not going to let this define me. I am going to let this empower me,
Yes.
and I'm going to grow from this.
Yes, exactly.
And it's literally a choice, because the people that live in a victim mentality from it, they choose that, and you see that happen throughout their life. Everything is happening to them. Everything bad is happening to them. It's not happening for them. If it happens for you, you go, cool, why is this happening? What is the lesson that I'm gaining from this? How am I growing from this? When you start to look at these things and go, cool, this sucks, but what did I learn? Because then you learn, you go forward, and it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
As soon as you open yourself to the experiences that life is giving you and showing you, because everything is love. Yeah. Everything around us is love. It is here for our own greatest growth. And if you notice when you're in a moment of surrender and you're living and just letting things come in, you're not living in a state of fear, anger, resentment, or low vibration, and you're in a high vibration. You notice everything is good. Everything may be difficult, but everything is actually happening for you and things are going the right way.
Exactly. By the way, your friends that was with you before, they still in your life?
Wow, which ones?
Like the ones that was like working with you in the stripper club.
So I saw
life took them away from you.
And look, I still talk to some of them. Others will always be acquaintances. There's never any hate or anything like that. It's just life has just helped us made us drift apart. There are some that I can still consider close friends that I will talk to either a couple times a year or anything like that.
But not close friends.
That would be these are close friends. Like the thing with my friends is I'm one of those people that we could be best friends. Yeah. I speak to you once and twice a year.
Yeah.
But you just straight away the second you see each other, it's like you never had a day apart.
Yeah, because I think that when you are moving and changing, like clean a lot of people in your life.
You do.
Like all my friends that was before in my life, I can say now that I don't have actually parents. Yeah. I just have myself, to be honest. Yeah. Like, okay, I have people that I work with. I have people that I go out and I drink and I eat, but I don't know if they are like my friends, because now I don't feel in the same vibration like with most of the people. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go out, and I'm 26 years old. And everybody, they always tell me, you're like such like a grandmother, you don't go out. But as you say, even in the OnlyFans and stripper club, I feel the same when I go out with people that doesn't match my energy. Like I feel I feel that they stole my energy. So I don't know if you feel the same.
I'm about 100%. I have, out of all the people that I call close friends, it's a very, very close knit group. Everyone else is an acquaintance. I'm very careful with who gets my energy. Yeah. Like I could meet someone, we sit down for coffee and we have a really good conversation. Yeah, let's do something later. But then if I don't feel the energetically to reach out to them afterwards, I know that they're not good for me.
Why we feel like this? I want to ask you because you're more connected. Because I feel like that will mostly with like all the time, like people always inviting to hang out and stuff, and I just don't feel to go. I mean, when I feel to go, I go.
Yeah.
But when I don't feel to go, and this didn't happen to me before.
But it doesn't align with who you are.
Yeah.
Like, again, when you look at your human design, you realize there are different ways we all make decisions. Yeah. Okay, for me, it's my safe word, it's my stuff. I listen to that. If there are moments where I go, oh, okay, I need to go, and I'll go, and it actually ends up being really good. Like I make a connection then. But if I don't have that connection or that drive or that push to go, then something in me is telling me that it's just not worth your energy. Now it could be multiple different reasons. But when we're looking at an energetic standpoint, from my perspective, is if I'm not drawn to it, then I'm going to do it. For me, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
And how is it about the partners? How do we dealing with these with your relationships after OnlyFans and all these things? Because for me, I told you it's not anymore. Now it's perfectly. But before, when I start cooking, was a little bit hard and more people to understand. How was in your case? I think more easy because women they are more.
Yeah, I think it was our energy attracts our energy. So because I was very open about it, everything was okay. I also had to go through the phases of learning that I could still sleep with someone, but then have a friendship with them afterwards. That was a new one for me to really understand, to really like.
More like
I mean, it was setting boundaries, which is something that I used to really struggle with. Where now, that's actually quite funny because a lot of women will go, "You're OnlyFans. Oh my god, you must be so experienced." And it's one of those things which that is quite fun because in that moment I'm able to help someone experience a different side of sex. Yeah. But in saying that at the same time is when some men aren't in a space within their own selves, within their own energy, where they are safe for women. That is a space that I've made sure that I can be. Is I want to be a safe space for people to be able to open up to. But also, if it ever comes down to when I sleep with someone or when I have a relationship, is I want to make sure that person feels 100% safe with me. Yeah. Because that is a very big thing, especially in this day and age, because there are still a lot of people that are manipulators that will do whatever they can to sleep with someone, and again, will just take that person's energy.
Yes.
I want to make sure is if something's happening, it's a beautiful exchange of energy. Yeah. It's something where both people leave feeling good, happy, and light.
Yeah, no anxiety, no.
Yeah, exactly. Because we take on other people's energy from it. So when you leave a sexual experience with someone, and their energy is off, you hold on to that. And that's where it comes out in your anxiety and the stress, your worries. You may wake up in the morning and go, why do I feel so out of it?
Yeah, right? This happened.
You've taken that energy from them because it's someone that isn't grounded within their own energy.
This happened too much. I understand. I was before with someone that I always was having. He had anxiety. So I had also anxiety too. So I think I was taking the energy. And I was living like a hell. And after, like, as you say, I'm very selective now with who I share my energy because we are energy. We are a soul. We're going to die in all this. It's going to, go. And the only thing that is going to stay is our soul is going to elevate. But we don't see it. We know, but we don't work on it. Like we think that we're going to be forever. That's what we think mostly of the people. I'm going to be forever. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to live my life day by, okay, it's nice to live your life day by day, but at the end of the day, I think the best is to work on your soul and in your inner you. Yes, it's the most important.
They are most likely still they're in a family where they didn't want to be there. They become a parent and they're really upset. They are living in a job or working a job that they don't like. They're unhappy with their life, so they're going to make judgments and deflect onto you. Don't let it affect you. Your life is your life. You made this life exactly what you want to make this life. You can either stay in sex work, you can become a coach, you can become this. As long as you do it from a place from authenticity, from truth, and make sure you are actually doing the work on yourself to become that best version of you. All of that. Do it.
Just what it makes you feel.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're all beautiful human beings that are here for the same reason. We're all here. Our mission in life, our purpose in life.
Yeah.
Just be happy, but it's to elevate, to grow, and to allow our soul to become the next one. Everyone's mission is different. But the purpose to all of us is to live, to grow, to get more in touch with who you are, and live a beautiful life.
Yes.
And so it's yours to create.
It's your choice. But really, thank you for it. Like, it's nice to talk with someone that we have the same, past. It's a, we connect on this, it's very good. And thank you for coming, guys. As also a person that was in that, I have this advice for all of you. I think that you can have a second chance and that you can become the best version of yourself if you want to. So thank you for me. I see you in the next episode, and thank you so much for coming.